All right, you're welcome to the Talking Point Show. My name is Idafi Matthew Esiogene, and this is the last episode for this week. I have been overwhelmed by the outpour of love, support for this show. It took us a very long time. Let me apologize. I was really afraid on my part that people would not respond to it, people would not like it, people would not drop their voice note because what we're doing is new in this part of the world. So I was not really sure. So right now, let me apologize for the many of you that I kept saying no to when you asked me to set up a WhatsApp group. I should set up a show that the fans will contribute in. Because in the last 14 episodes, this is the 15th one now, we've had it very, very good. And as usual, before I go, let me say something that we go that is off the spot itself. But before I even say that, let me say a very big thank you to Mr. Adeyemi Adesanya for coming to EcoBeat to mentor my student at EcoBeat. I think, thank you very much for coming to mentor the students of EcoBeat. We are very, very excited. We're very glad. And next week, Friday, we're going to have Mr. Timi Dakolo. Thank you very much, bros. Okay, let's set the ground running. Let's go straight to the business of the day. I like to say it this way. Integrity is everything. Integrity is everything. There is no middle ground on integrity. There is no integrity in the morning and no lack of it in the afternoon or in the evening. So whatever you do, let people know you for something. Like so, now so this guy did do it, so you know that. Let people know you as an upright person, even in the small things you do, whether it's a church, whether it's in a mosque, whether in your Ifa business, or whether in your paganism, or in the office, or in the trade, anything you do. Let people know you for who you are. Don't be a guy like this morning and then another person in the afternoon and then another person in the evening. I say it's me blending in. If you can't beat them, you join them. That's a wrong way to think. You should be known for something, take a stand on something and defend it. But when you're wrong, be quick to come out and admit that, oh, I was wrong. But based on, at the time of the conversation, this is what I thought was the truth. But then I finally realized that I was wrong. You admit it and you move on. It helps your integrity as a person. Now let's sit the conversation that we have. We're going to start with our brother from Futa, Nakure, Timothy Daimbo, and this is what he's got to say.
Hello, Elegbete TV. Yes, Timothy Dembo once again from Futa, Akure. Yes, and thank you for the answer to my question on the last episode of the show. Yes, so I'm asking right now, Manchester United, since they brought in Bruno Fernandes, they seem to have been getting results right. Do you think Bruno Fernandes has been the one gearing this team up? And do you think with this current form, Man United will retain Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Thank you.
All right, Timothy Daimbo. Yes, the arrival of Bruno Fernandes have also met with the upsurge in the form of Manchester United, and the sweetest part is winning 3-0 at the weekend and then coming in the Europa Cup to win 5-0. One, they are scoring goals. Secondly, they are not conceding. They are pushing forward. They are attacking the way we used to know Manchester United. But then it's still early days. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as an interim coach, also put up this type of performance and amazing result. The season Mourinho got fired, let's not forget that at the beginning it was winning games 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. Manchester United are in a place right now where they have to evaluate a lot of things. Once their depth profile is going high every day, 391 million is not be beans. And then, you know, a whole lot of other things. If you sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're going to pay him, you're going to bring him another coach. But this is what I think. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not win Manchester United the Premier League title. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will just be satisfied with making the top four, struggling to make the top four, even though the team is playing well right now. What if Bruno Fernandes gets injured again? Would the team still be as good as we expect them to be? That's one thing. I think that they should sack him at the end of the season. But if they're going to keep him, well, it's their business. But I think they should sack him, let him go, and then bring in somebody else who would now drive this team to the very, very edge of becoming successful. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the way I see him, it's kind of like the kind of guy who will be satisfied with telling you that we're rebuilding, it's going to take time to happen, and then just hustle to be in the top four. But on the flip side, if he wins the Europa and makes the top four, qualify for the Champions League, then he has every right to be retained. That is, I mean, the normal thing to do. But then the problem is they might not start the next season again and struggle with all this thing. They need a coach that would also influence the ability of players to sign for Manchester United. Now players will be thinking, who's the coach? OGS, I beg you, leave that and make it the way it is. That's one of the side that it is. But my opinion will not determine what the boardroom of Manchester United will do. But I think that they should let him go at the end of the season and get a coach that would, turn them from struggling to qualify for UEFA Champions League to a team that will start the season knowing that our goal is to win the Premier League. That's what we used to know Manchester United for. That's what they should come back to.
My name is Tunji, calling from Ogun State. While growing up, I learned that their numbers are allocated to every player from number 1 to, I think, to 11, and then the 12th man is their fans. Now, I learned that probably in a 43-1 formation, for example, the number 2 is a right back, number 3 is a left back, 5 and 6 defenders. There are 2 midfielders. There are 2 wingers, 1 attacking midfielder and then a striker. So I think that what brought about the mix-up yesterday when you explained. It's not like I didn't want to listen, or it's not like I was adamant about what I already knew. But then probably the things I knew before, probably I didn't just know them the right way. So the clarification I wanted to have was, you said that Bruno Fernandes will be like it will improve Papa's game in a way, because it will be like the way Santi Cazorla was to Ozil. So what I was now asking yesterday was, in the formation of Juventus that played Barcelona in 2015, I wanted to ask that, since you said that Santi Cazorla was like an assist to Mesut Ozil, I wanted to know who was the assistant to Arturo Vidal. Was it Pogba that was? I know they are all midfielders, but then that got me confused. Like, I wasn't really sure, and I wanted to be sure, because I'm not really good in terms of formation, in terms of who plays, because some people have the mentality that, for example, in a 4-2-3-1 formation, among the 2 midfielders at the middle, one will be allowed to move forward, while the other will be allowed to sit back and cover the defense. And then in a 4-3-3 formation, I heard that there must always be a DM in every team. So I don't know. There are so many things I don't know about formation. So if you could shed more light on it, I would actually appreciate it, because I know different teams set up different. For example, Chelsea used a 3-man defense against Bayern Munich. So I just want to know how formations work and how different teams set up in different ways. So that I'll be very, very, very appreciative if I can understand that, because that's something that I've found hard to deal with since I was young, and I don't really understand. Thank you. So.
All right, Tunji, I'm actually not angry at you, but when we're chatting in that group, I just realized that sometimes I perceive an argument from people like, oh, they just want to win this argument. It's not like they want to learn anything from it. I showed you that picture in the group, and I showed you that picture where you have Makiso, Pogba, Pello at the very deep end of that spin, and then Arturo Vidal up front. To answer the question you already raised, that, okay, if Pogba come, what will play? And then the question of who is going to be a link man between the two, it's not supposed to come up, because all the midfielders are working for themselves. If you go to the French team that won the World Cup, you will see that it was Blaise Matuidi, N'Golo Kante, and Paul Pogba in the midfield, where you have Olivier Giroud, Antoine Griezmann, and Mbappe up front. And they also linked up very well. The thing about playing in midfield is you need to have people who are on the same wavelength with you, people who understand you, people who think the way you think. So it makes it easy. When one is going forward, the other one stays back. When the other one is going forward, the other person stays back. It's an exchange that it is just interpersonal relationship that makes you understand that, oh, this guy is going, or this is what he will do. I should stay back for him. Okay, it's my time to go now. He will stay back for me. It's a simple thing. And I think that Bruno Fernandes, because of his movement and because of his ability to dare to go forward, there is what we call passing for the sake of passing in football, and then there's what we call the right passes. Ozil used to have it. Xavi and Iniesta, they have it to the back of their bone. Dennis Beckham used to have it. Paul Scholes, David Beckham. These people, they don't pass for the sake of passing, like, oh, the ball is in my leg, let me just give it to somebody else so that it doesn't spoil my leg. They pick out the perfect pass. And that's what Pogba and Bruno Fernandes will bring to to the team. I'm not sure I can determine who plays where and who doesn't play well. But I think this is how it's going to be like. Manchester United would have play a back three or a back four, or sometimes a five at the back, and then 3 man at the middle. 3 man at the middle can be a triangle of 2 pivots at the base, which is 2 defensive midfielders at the base, and Pogba up front, or a game where they'll play Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, one to the right, one to the left, and then a defensive midfielder at the base, depending on the opposition that they're playing against. Because there are some opposition that you quite know that Manchester United need to go all out attacking and score plenty of goals, because they are not as strong coming forward and they would like to sit back to defend. Teams like Wolves who want to hit you on the counter. So you put more men. If you put 2 Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba behind 3 strikers, or maybe Anthony Martial, Ojo Igalo, and maybe Rashford, let me just use that hypothetically, you would have given your attacking options 5 men to go forward. So even if the opposition is sitting back to defend, they would struggle, they would make mistakes, they'll commit foul, and you will have the opportunity to run at them. And then if they want to counter-attack you, at least you have one defensive midfielder to help break play before the rest of the team join in. That is how it is. Formations are just language that people use. It's like computer language. Like when you're building a website, the word is coding. You're putting all this code that define the face of the website at the end of the day. Formation, whether it's 4-4-2, 4-2-4, 4-3-3, 5, whatever they call it, is just a statement that arrange and align players. At the end of the day, it is the talent and ability of these players and the ability to understand each other and read each other's movement that would win you matches, not just the players. But asking me if Pogba and Bruno Fernandes can play together, obviously they can play together. There's a player that plays in Manchester United midfield right now, McTominay. I like him. But if you have Pogba and you have Bruno Fernandes fit, you obviously would drop McTominay to the bench and play him. Or you would drop Greenwood so that you would allow Bruno Fernandes to be running into the channel, playing as a midfield and a linkman, the way this guy does at Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne does at Manchester City. So he goes and come back. It depends on the opposition as well, and it depends on the players that are fit. But it's not much about the formation, but the players' ability and compatibility within each other.
Well done, Elebita TV Radio. Oluwaseun the talk. Current location K2. Yes, I have 3 things to quickly talk about. The first one, let me talk about the new season for the Formula One. At least Sebastian Vettel has a better time for the testing season. I just want to ask your own opinion, Elebita. How do you think it will go this season for the Formula One? Is it going to be a one-way traffic as Mercedes driver, which is Lewis Hamilton, have been doing, or this time around other drivers will give a good account of themselves, like Sebastian Vettel, Bottas, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc? I hope they will good account of themselves and give Hamilton a run for his money in this season. Or what do you think? And also, Enyimba, our only club side for African club competition, which is CAF Nations Cup, is playing this weekend against Royal of Guinea. What do you think the outcome of the match will be? Do you think Enyimba into the 2-leg matches can proceed to semi-final, or it will be let's say, or it will be a tough one for them, or they will find it very easy? I want to take on that. And lastly, congratulations to our own Odion Igalo. Finally, he got his first goal for Manchester United against Club Brugge. That was a very nice one for him. I hope he also get more goals. As we know, Rashford is still injured, and also Martial has joined Rashford in the injury list of Manchester United. I hope more good passes is being given to him, so that he can get more goals, so that if possible, he can have a permanent contract with Manchester for the next season. Take it from here, Elebita TV. Thank you.
All right, Oluwaseun, these 3 questions, these 3 issues you raised. Let's start with the Formula One. I still think that the odds-on favorite to win this season, and then there's a lot more pressure for him to even win, is Lewis Hamilton. Last season he won 7 out of the total. That's why he became champion. I don't think he would sit back and just allow people to come run over him, especially now when You heard, is it Vettel or Leclerc that was saying he's not God, he's not God, he can be beaten. So he wants to prove that, yes, he's not God, but he would not just lie down and allow anybody come in. Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, even Bottas in his own team, and a few other people, Max Verstappen, will give him a run for his title. But unless disaster happens, I'm still going to bet all of my money on Lewis Hamilton to win this season. Not because of the competition or because the competition is weak, but because of that desire to equal Michael Schumacher and also go on to beat that record and become the outstanding all-time greatest champion of Formula One race. That is the motivation for Lewis Hamilton, and that's a big enough motivation. And then let's not forget that there is a £60 million a year contract with Mercedes-Benz on the table, and if he decide not to take that, this might be his last season for Mercedes, and then he goes on to ride with Ferrari next season with a bigger pay and all that. But let's say I go, my smart money is on Lewis Hamilton. If you put Lewis Hamilton on 2K, I'll still bet on that 2K to win more championship than any other team because of his ability to manage race. Lewis Hamilton, not just the drive speed. Everybody drives speed. But he know how to manage race. He know when to overtake. He know how to cool off sometimes and just let you be and go ahead. And then the people know they too get under his skin. That's another good thing with him. Not like Vettel or Max Verstappen or Leclerc. Since they get under his skin like that, that are the early days of a race. Right now, he's the kind of guy that goes into a race and run because he wants to win. He knows when to stop, he knows when to attack, when to drive defensively, and when to overtake. So I would still bet on him, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to come that, just because you make yourself present, you're going to take all the pole position, win the race, and go like that. No, that will not happen. Then let's move to Enyimba. I think Enyimba are good enough to win this and move into the semi-finals. But then any complacency can also make them fall out of the competition because your position, they're not joking. African football is very difficult because it's not an opposition that you know everybody how they play, what they will bring to the party. But I think Enyimba would do well to manage themselves, get a good result at home, and then manage not to lose too much away from home, or probably not even lose at all away from home. They'll go further. Now, talking about Jude Odiegalo, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He signed a 6-month loan deal. Eric Lansing signed a 3-month loan deal one time with Manchester United. He did very well, but he scored in all competitions, scored in the league, scored in Champions League, scored in the FA Cup, but they didn't retain him. My point here is he just might end up, and then Manchester United are looking at it that we brought in Odion as a stopgap so that we'll be able to look for that striker we need at the end of the season, pending who the coach would be. So they didn't want to spend too much money on Odion, pay too much salary, pay too much sign-off fee and all that. So they just might decide, Odion, thank you very much for your time. I don't think they would want to extend this contract. This fulfilled his dream for playing for Manchester United, scoring for Manchester United. Let's just hope that he could score up to 10 goals and give them reason to think and sit in the boardroom and think that they want to extend this contract. That's what I wish for him, but I don't think they would extend this contract. I think Manchester United are holding up to Odion as a loan deal so that they can negotiate for that big striker they want to sign at the end of the season. That's my take on that.
Hello, Elegbete TV radio show. My name is Matthias Jacob, calling from Ikorodu, Lagos State. Yeah. My take on today's show, I want to seek your opinion concerning Paul Pogba in the Manchester United team. Having seen what Bruno Fernandes have brought to the team, because that's what we expect from his caliber. Paul Pogba. But now, don't you think that his place is being treated by the presence of Bruno Fernandes? Or do you think that maybe the inclusion of Fernandes in the team will make Pogba to sit tight and to think twice? Or are you of the opinion of people that are saying that Man United should sell Paul Pogba because maybe you don't want to play for the team? Because I don't believe so. Please let me shed more light on it, whether the addition of Bruno Fernandes will affect his place in the team if he come back fit. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, Matthias from Ikorodu, I will say it this way. Thank you very much for that question. Almost everybody is asking that question right now. I don't think that Bruno Fernandes was brought in to replace Pogba in the first place. So Bruno Fernandes' performance will not deter them from playing Pogba. There are players in that Manchester United team that would go to the bench and Pogba will play if he comes back. Rather, instead of being a threat to Pogba, I think Bruno Fernandes will complement Pogba, make Pogba to play better, will give Pogba a chance to be a better player for Manchester United, because now the workload is reduced. There's a lot of creativity coming from Bruno Fernandes, and then, you know, shots from outside the area. He could also help in free kick position. He could also join in the penalty kick taking responsibility. Rather than become a threat to Pogba, it would help Pogba to be better. Pogba, as we've seen from his days at Juventus and his national team appearance with France, plays better when the players around him are senior players and are doing well, taking responsibility. So with Bruno Fernandes showing leadership and taking responsibility, the workload on Pogba will reduce and he will do well. So I don't think it will make them sell Pogba. But I've always been of the opinion that they should sell Pogba because of how ex-Manchester United players have always treated Pogba like he's the reason why everything is going wrong at Manchester United. Like, but Pogba is the devil himself. Now, having said all that, I think that if they want to keep him, this is the best time to keep him because responsibility have reduced, his workloads have already reduced. It would be wise for them to convince him to stay so that he stay long and then they win things together.
This is your boy Isaac calling from Bagada. I would like to digress a bit from the usual sport talk and talk about sport business. I would like to know, is there any Nigerian sport club, either football, basketball, swimming, hockey, polo, that are listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? My particular interest is in Bagada FC because they are the closest to me, at least they are based in my community. But I just want to know, is there any Nigerian sport club or sport organization that is listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? I don't think even the NFF or the any of the Nigerian sport association is listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I just want to know. Thank you, Elegbete TV Radio. You are doing great. Love you.
All right, Isaac from Bagada. Well, football associations cannot be listed in the stock exchange because they are not up for sale. It's an association that you get voted for. It's not a limited liability company that you would get listed. Having said that, there is also no football club or no sports club in Nigeria that is listed in the stock exchange. For Bagada FC, they are just starting. If you want Bagada FC to be listed in the stock exchange, which is possible because it's a private entity, this is what I advise you to do. It's in your neighborhood. Take out some time to follow them across on social media. Go watch their training. Approach the club. And Yelu is a very, Olajide Akinyelu is a very, very accommodating person. He's doing the football business very well. What he needs is an overwhelming support, just like what we're doing at Elegbete TV. People have asked me, employ my brother, employ my sister, and I give them only one answer. We will employ, this company have the capacity to employ close to between 5 to 10,000 people across Nigeria and across the globe. But that can only happen if our numbers rise. The same thing with Bagada FC. Bagada FC will be listed in stock exchange if, for instance, they have, let's say, minimum 50,000 registered fans who are buying jerseys and memorabilia and all that. Then they will take it to the next level and say, okay, we have this number of people that are consistently trading with us. Let us go list in the stock exchange so that we use this brand, this fan base to say, okay, we want to get this money from the stock exchange so that we can build a stadium that they will now be part of. So it's something that we should collectively try to build so that at the end of the day, we all benefit from it, even if not us, our children. The thing about Nigerians and Africans is that we do not build for our children. We only look at for things that we would enjoy. And if you look at us, we are almost at the end of our race as humans in this generation. So we don't think for our children. If we think for our children, we will make those plans so that we can transfer ownership and all that to our children. But we don't think that way. I just pray that this generation will see it and change our thought process. Thank you very much, but very valid and interesting question that you raised there, Isaac Akomolafe, different from what we used to have. Let's go to the next person, Diale Kingsley. I think the best writer right now in Nigeria, fantastic writer. If you're not following Ediale Kingsley on Facebook, you're missing a lot. Please do well to follow him on Facebook and see some of the beautiful pieces that he's writing. You will learn from them how to write, how to, tell a story and all that. So it is good to follow them. But let's hear what he's got to say. Ediale, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Ediale Kingsley, yeah. I'm intrigued by the matches that we're going to have this weekend. We have the El Clasico, which always finds a way of making my belly sweet. We're going to have Tottenham versus Wolves, a very, very interesting game considering the fact that Tottenham are not really at the best form right now, and they still will be suffering from the lack of strikers, good strikers in the team. I think that match will be very, very interesting. I think Mario would have to go back to packing the balls to win any other match. For Mario to win any match, I personally think he is going to be effective at packing the balls. Otherwise, Wolves would beat them as well. And I think there are some short games. I don't know. There are some short games for those playing bets this weekend. It's 100% sure that Atletico Madrid would beat Espanyol. It is 100% sure, I dare say, that even Wolves was going to beat Tottenham. Then the third one is Barcelona beating Real Madrid.
Ediale Kingsley, thank you very much for helping us with some of the short games. At the beginning of this season, when a few people asked me to start doing betting tips, and even on my radio when we started on the 23rd of December, I told everybody who cared to listen that this season is the season for the betting companies. And I said that since last year, July, when I started seeing the way transfer seasons are going, and the fact that the past 2 seasons, bet companies lost a lot of money, people made a lot of kill from betting. I know that this season was going to be for the bet companies. Don't ask me there's conspiracy theory. Don't ask me they manipulate results. Not my maths. When I want to hear say King, he pull tasting body for Market Square. But this is how I'm going to say it. From next season, I'm going to be giving betting tips. But looking at these games that you mentioned, Tottenham Hotspur, with Mourinho, you can't predict. That's the thing about Jose Mourinho. You can't predict. Just the game you think he's going to lose, you go there and surprise you and win and make you look very stupid. But I'll go with you that Wolves will win this game. But let's not forget that Wolves are coming from playing in the continent. They just might be tired, and that might be a factor against them. Let's get past that one. All right, coming from the backdrop of Barcelona's draw at Napoli and Real Madrid losing against, Manchester City, the whole complexion changes. Sergio Ramos will play this game. The first leg was a 0-0 draw. This might end up in a draw again. I don't know what will happen, but that Barcelona new signing, Braithwaite, might just add a little bit of muscle and power to this game. But I still think that it might end in a draw. I still have my fingers crossed that it might end in a draw. But I wish Barcelona wins their own. Atletico Madrid to win, I think that's easy. Every other game that you mentioned, I go with it. But thank you very much. And for those of you guys who are not following him, follow Ediale Kingsley. If you love to read like me, like I do love to read, I think Ediale Kingsley is one person to follow on Facebook, on Twitter, and across all social media platforms. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Let's go to the next person.
My name is Victor. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. Please, I would like you to analyze, should I say, the El Clasico that is coming up on Sunday. Who do you think will carry the day? Thank you.
Okay, Victor from Port Harcourt. The game, for me, it is edged towards Barcelona. Messi scored 4 goals last week. Benzema does not look like he's scoring goals. The Madrid team look a little bit downcast, coming from losing at home to Man City, losing to Levante, 4 points ahead of Barcelona 2 weeks ago. Now Barcelona is 2 points ahead of them. Everything not really going the way they expect it to go. I think that Barcelona are smelling blood here. They will want to put in 3 points to the 2 points the points that they have, so that they can go further down. A draw will still work well for Barcelona, but I think Barcelona, being who they are, they want that psychological advantage, that boost, because if they win this game, it will go on to prepare them for the coming games and also set the tone that Setien knows what he's doing. The players are back again. They've gotten past that their little setback. I think that Barcelona will win this game, but it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. It's El Clasico. It's not going to be as boring as the first one. I'll be very, very surprised if it gets boring, but I think Barcelona will win at the end of the day. But then Zinedine Zidane is the kind of coach that when you write him off, it surprises you. It's like Jose Mourinho. He just might come up and prove something in this game. But his best competition is the Champions League, and he lost on Wednesday to Manchester City, to Pep Guardiola. So this might just be playing in their head, and things seems to be going apart for them right now. Best time for Barcelona to play them. I'll put my smart money, if I'm betting, I'll put my smart money on Barcelona to win. Worst case scenario, I'll put them on to win or draw. But I don't think Barcelona will lose against Real Madrid. But that Vinicius Junior, on his day, can wreck any team. I wonder why Zidane removed him in that game against Man City. And when people say that he's tired, man, this is a young man. How can a young man be tired playing football? Come on. I mean, that's something that I don't want to listen to. But that's a topic for another day. I just think that Barcelona will win. If I'm betting, I'll bet on Barcelona to win. That's just the way it is. Having said that, we've come to the end of the Talking Point Show on Elegbeta TV and Elegbeta TV Radio. Before I go, like I say, let your integrity stand the test of time. Don't have integrity in the morning and lose it in the afternoon. Don't be like some churchgoers who are Christians on Sunday and then Monday to Saturday, they are worse than the devil. When you have integrity, protect it. When you say something to people, mean it. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Think it through before you say it so that you can defend it anytime, any day. When you also make mistake, be easy to admit that you made a mistake and move on with an apology. Once you apologize, you move on. Don't stay on it again. That's what I've got to say. My name is Idafi Matthew Esogene. You love to call me the Elegbeta One of Sports. Thank you very much for being part. But don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and view our content on YouTube. And also, please help us to grow our Instagram account. Follow us on Instagram. We are at Elegbeta TV Radio on Instagram. Thank you very much, and have yourself a marvelous weekend.